Hey there, it's Anonymous Tea, where we spill the tea anonymously. Hello, 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 everyone. Hello, YouTubers. Hope you guys are all having an amazing day today, sending good vibes, sending positivity, sending blessings, and good energy to each and every single one of you. Thank you so much for tuning in. So today we're talking love and marriage, Huntsville. You guys know why you were here. Today we're talking because Phonics Unhooked went live again, you guys. She gave us a daily double, and we got to talk about it. So first things first, I want to highlight this picture because this is the reason, Phonics Unhooked, that you are no longer on the show. Oh, look at there. I believe I see Sunny back there, right? Sunny Delight, Sunny side up, you guys. Here's the thing, Phonics Unhooked, because, you know, there's a few things I want to get to this video, including the disgusting Unalive comment. This is why you're not on the show anymore. You spread lies about alleging the paternity of Mel and Tel's youngest child. You were on social media, like I said, comparing your grandkids' hair to the Holtz kids' hair and throwing little digs and throwing little jabs. Everything got escalated. You tried to fight Mel on the show, you guys, while the cameras were rolling, on behalf of your daughter, on behalf of you being her mouthpiece, right? You know, the same mouthpiece that you're saying Shenita is for Mel, right? But that was okay for you to incite violence and incite a nuck if you buck situation taking place. That is why you're no longer on the show, Phonics Unhooked, and the petition helped helped sped that along. Because thousands of fans said that they were going to boycott the show and they were not going to watch the show if you were still going to be on it. Because we tuned in to Love and Marriage Huntsville, not Love and Hip Hop, you guys. Not the Zeus Network, you guys. Not old school Real World and Road Rules when that was popping, right? This is supposed to be a show about what was supposed to be allegedly successful black millionaires giving back to the black community in Huntsville and building low, income affordable housing and doing community outreach, community service. We have not seen that at all. It has been nothing but tomfoolery. And you having the audacity to say that it's Mel's fault that you're no longer on the show? Well, whose fault it is it that the whole entire cast had to be flued out? Or no, I'm sorry. The executives of the show had to be flued out to Huntsville to meet with the cast, and in particular the Core Six, and have a come to Jesus meeting on how they could get the show back on track because it was off the rails. So again, how is that Mel's fault when the executives saw it serious enough to take a flight from their cushy lives and wherever they live in the country to come all the way to Huntsville to sit down with the cast and say, what can we do to make this right? What can we do so the show doesn't get canceled? Right? So your actions, Phonics Unhooked, your violent actions, Phonics Unhooked, your mouth that led to violent actions and nuck if you buck behavior is why you're not on the show anymore. Not because you feel like, oh, Mel has all this power, Mel has all this control, blah 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 blah. No. Oh, you said now that Carlos King he's going to let you say what you want, is going to allow you to tell the truth, and that's why you're not on the show? Then why aren't they answering your calls, allegedly? Huh? Why aren't they answering your calls? Why isn't the showrunner allegedly not answering your calls? If they want you to be back on the show so bad. Can you make it make sense? And see, I knew what this was, right? Because you and Martell, you guys do the same thing all the time. You guys cannot sit down and just let this show play out and just let everything play out. No. If somebody else on the show is getting too much attention, too much clout, too much shine, even if it is down to Marquez, who is a quote-unquote new cast member, you guys come out the bushes and you have to reveal yourselves onto the internet to let the people know, look at me, remember me, watch me, give me attention, I need it. No. And shout out to whoever was watching my video, right? Because it was clear as day, like I keep saying, you were coached
You were coached, Phonics Unhooked. Somebody either called you or specifically gave you talking points to recite because you sounded very scripted. How do I know you sounded scripted? Because it was a complete 180 on how you do your Instagram lives, right? You're on Instagram lives. They're very off the cuff. They're very unhinged. You're cussing people out. You're blocking people. All of these things, right? Now all of a sudden it's kumbaya. Now all of a sudden you're sounding coherent and concise, right? Now all of a sudden you're a blogger, right? You're a blogger, so now you're allowed to talk about the show and how the people miss you and you're responsible for the ratings. No. The highest rated episode, go look it up, you guys. The highest rated episode that had 1 million viewers was because of Mel and Tell, you guys. Like, do we need to pull the receipts? Because we can do it. We can waste the time and energy that I don't have to pull those receipts of the 1 million view episode and not the fake 3 million linear L3 nonsense that Carlos King was talking about a few weeks ago. But real talk, the highest rated episode was a Mel and Tell focused episode, you guys, that had 1 million viewers, you guys. Hasn't happened since and isn't going to happen again. So, no, Phonics Unhooked, the ratings is not because of you, and they never were because of you, right? People threaten to quit the show because of you, which would indicate you're not responsible for the ratings. The fans are, and the fans supporting the advertisers that put this show on is what impacts the ratings. So, nonetheless, she is getting again hyped up over people who say that they miss her on the show and all this and that. See, this is the thing, right? Nobody said that none of you guys don't have fans. See, this is where, again, the critical thinking is lacking. Because you guys take certain things and you flip it and you twist it and turn it into something else. Nobody said that nobody liked you or that you didn't have fans or that you didn't have supporters. Everyone does. Because in order for there to be conflict, you guys, there has to be people on different sides, right? There has to be people who are team whomever. So that wasn't the issue at hand. The issue at hand is you're reckless and you're unhinged. So that is why people are dragging you and you're still sabotaging your daughter till this day. Who coached you, Phonics Unhooked? Was it a cast member? Was it a relative? Was it a producer? Was it a content creator? Allegedly, right? Who was it? Because isn't your daughter out here, in the island streets, celebrating? Because I remember I told you earlier in my last video, I told you Letitia posted from the airport, wanted to let you know she had TSA pre-check, but was wearing Mel's merch, was wearing the Team Wife merch, you guys. And then Phonics Unhooked, she gets on and is like, oh yeah, Tisha and Marceau, they're on their romantic, their anniversary trip or whatever. We didn't need to know that, so you're telling me Letitia was so concerned about your live that she interrupted romantic time with Marceau, with adult time with Marceau, to call you and tell you, Mom, don't go on live today. Don't go on YouTube today. No. Because again, you guys are so attention starved. You guys cannot help yourself. And then you say another live. See, this is the thing I don't understand. These people who always say, oh, I tell the truth. Oh, I speak the real and all this and that. But it's easy to catch you guys in lies. It's easy to catch you guys in fibs because here's the thing. There is nobody, even the most purest of pure, you have told at least one lie in your lifetime. Whether it was a lie by omission or a flat out lie or an embellishment, whatever you want to call it. But it wasn't completely truthworthy, right? Have you ever lied on a resume before, lied on an application before, or lied to your family about something before, or chose not to tell something important to your family or friends or loved ones before, or, do something, nefarious against a coworker or colleague or whoever? You have all done something. So I'm a truth teller, I keep it real. No. People tune in because they know you're going to say something reckless and unhinged. And for some people, it's entertainment. But for other people, they're going to be like, see, this is the reason you're not on the show anymore. This is the reason people signed that petition. But you did tell a fib when you said that Mel will never interview with any blogger who are Team Scott, who are in support of the Scott family. But that literally was just debunked a few days ago, right? Because there's certain bloggers, because apparently, allegedly, there's a list of who, I guess, is considered millimeters, right? And going off that list, the people that Mel has, either went into their chat or came up on those people's lives are not considered, quote unquote, millimeters. So that would indicate, because some people, again, have tunnel vision, some people are short-sighted. So if you do not identify yourself as a millimeter, a Mel supporter, immediately you're just put in a different category as Team Scott, right? Like there's no nuance at all that you could just be a fan of nobody, or you could just be Team Nobody, right? You have to be a millimeter or a fan of the Scotts. There's no in between. There's no gray area. It's black and white. Either you are a pro Mel channel or you're a pro Scott channel, right? But you can't just be a channel that's going to talk about everybody regardless, right? Like there's no in between, because that's how short-sighted and narrow-minded certain people are, right? And so with that being said, there have been multiple people who are not considered, quote unquote, millimeters or Mel supporting channels, or even, according to Maurice and the Funky Dineva Awards, it's more pro Scott, is more Team Scott, that Mel decided to go up on those platforms and give impromptu interviews to. So that is a flat out lie, Phonics Unhooked. Because literally a few days ago, you have an example of somebody that I never knew to ever call themselves a millimeter or consider themselves to be a millimeter, and has called out Mel on plenty of occasions. So that debunks your rationale that, Mel would never do this, Mel would never do that. Just like it debunks when you kept trying to repeat again that nobody but Owen paid for the cash trip. And Mel has said multiple times what she is paid for as it pertained to the cash trip. You see what's happening here? And so the climax of this, right, are two things, right? Is now you have this new obsession with Shenita, right? And again, like I said, whenever people focus in, if you're not going to state what the actual issue is that you have with somebody, if you're not going to list your actual talking points of what your problem is with something somebody said or somebody's actions or all of those things, it is going to be cast at the wayside, and all of the, insults and the jabs and below the belt comments, that is going to be what's magnified here, right? Speaking of, I saw, again, somebody saw my video, Phonics Unhooked, because conveniently you're naming female content creators all of a sudden. But nonetheless, this new obsession now with Shenita, and you go into this whole thing, they said that I was Tisha's mouthpiece, and Stormy's mom was her mouthpiece, and blah, 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 blah. But here's the thing. Tisha has had multiple people be her mouthpiece. Not just you, Phonics Unhooked, but also Keke. See, everybody wants to think Keke just came on the show. The late Keke, rest her soul, just came on the show last season. No. She was on the earlier seasons. To you new viewers, to you new watchers, or to your fans that have amnesia. She was on the earlier seasons because Tisha and Kimmy were not in a good place. And we can argue that Tisha's, and Kimmy are just playing nice, right? That Kimmy still doesn't see it for her, but she'd rather be, cool with this alliance nonsense than have to deal with the nonsense that Tisha and her mom pull when she feels like somebody's quote unquote against her. Basically, the obsession that is taking place currently with Mel is what Kimmy doesn't want. So she said, you know what? This is the lesser of two evils, of to just be friends with these people or be cordial with these people, excuse me. and acquaintances, so I don't have to deal with the daily lives and the daily YouTubes that Phonics Unhooked is doing about Mel. Right? But Tisha specifically had her cousin, had her mom, and then when her and Kimmy got cool again, all be her mouthpiece against Mel. And none of you guys said anything. None of you guys threw your arms up in the air and waved them like you just don't care because you enjoyed them dissing Mel. So don't get on your soapbox now. Don't get on your moral high ground now and be like, oh, Mel needs a mouthpiece. This is what, 8 seasons in? That Mel finally has a defender? Because we can even argue when things were good with Mel and Tel. Even Tel was not even on the same page in defending his wife. So nonetheless, finally somebody has come in, saw the BS for what it was, saw the gang up attempt for what it was, and pulled the reverse Uno and said, no. You're not just going to come here. This is a trip that Mel specifically planned for y'all, and you're going to try to do an ambush. You're going to try to bring in Destiny and hope she could have a go at Mel and bring up her ex-husband. Oh, I got something for you. Not only is Sunny going to be on this trip as well, but also I'm going to bring my friends Shenita and Lauren. And then there's this weird obsession people have now, that now all of a sudden, because Lauren wasn't in the mess, that she's a good person, that she's not all up in the camera, she's not fame hungry. No. Come on now, Phonics Unhooked. Come on now. You're trying to tell me Shenita, who has already been on reality TV before, didn't understand the assignment, didn't understand what was happening? But instead, you twist this around to mock Shenita and mock her talking about the fact that she is an unalive survivor. That she attempted to take her life some years ago, and she is a survivor. And a lot of this stuff, a lot of the negativity, she's being called a man, she's being called a transvestite, she's being called Chewbacca, she's being called He-Man, she's being calling the Credible Hulk, all these names, right? Everything but her government name. Everything but the child of God, you guys. And she said all of it is triggering her again. And you have the audacity, Phonics Unhooked, to make fun of her. You have the audacity to call her, what did you call her? Shurdle? Or is that how you pronounced it, Phonics Unhooked? It's not funny. And this is what I'm talking about. You guys want to talk about who's bullying who, and who is taking things too far, and who's going below the belt, who's making fun of kids, who's making fun of disabilities, who's making fun of people who have cancer and all these other things. You guys want to do that. You guys start those narratives, right? But you guys are the ones who start this yourselves. You're the ones who start, with these jabs, with these insults. And then when it gets called out, you want to try to dig up other people's information to try to assassinate their character, to deflect off of the things that you've said and did. And even your own followers were not cool with the commentary, Phonics Unhooked. Because it wasn't funny. It wasn't funny, it wasn't entertaining. And this is what I'm saying. A real blogger, a real person who's seasoned, who understands the assignment, would not have to stoop to such low levels to try to get, something for clicks and views, to try to get something entertaining out of the people, for people to go to your page, for people to watch your lives, for you to say something uncouth, for people to head over there. You should be able, with all the coaching, allegedly, that you had for your talking points, to know that this wasn't it. That this wasn't the drag that you thought it was. If you wanted to address the issue at hand, talk about what your issue is in the Shenita versus Tisha saga. But see, nobody thinks like that, right? All they do, they go for the jugular. Oh, I'm going to attack somebody's looks. Oh, okay, right? But you take it too far. Calling somebody a man, making fun of somebody's wigs, calling them Chewbacca, Incredible Hulk, He-Man, all these things. For what? You briefly call out Carlos King, right? And briefly say that he's not a leader, and saying that Mel's running the show. Well, if Mel's running the show, how is it for so many seasons it was allowed for Martel to attack Mel unprovoked and try to incite certain reactions from her and gaslight her on camera, and all of y'all did the mute challenge? If Mel has so much power and control, why is this cast always trying it with her? If Mel is calling all the shots, why would Mel allow herself, to be treated like this on camera for 8 seasons? If she has all this control and power, Phonics Unhooked, can you make it make sense? Because wouldn't that indicate that Mel would be getting this glorious edit of the show? She would actually be getting the Martel edit, you guys. She would be getting the Angel edit that is the white suit that Martel has on the cast cover. Right? But again, no. They're showing all these people making shady comments, all of the cast being messy, all of the cast trying to get their digs in, this entire season being focused around Mel, being focused around the millimeters once again. And they thought that they did their big one by inviting Destiny on the girls' trip. And it flopped and it backfired. And then you guys were not ready for the smoke Shenita had for y'all. And instead of addressing head on what Shenita said, what the questions Shenita was asking, and getting to the bottom of what the real issue was, and calling out the fact these people are ops, you get in your feelings, you hit the record button, you hit the go live button, and decide, oh, I'm just going to attack her looks and call her a man. That's going to be my big comeback. No. That's a cheap shot. And it's below the belt. And to make fun of somebody who is an unalive survivor is low even for you, Phonics Unhooked. But we've seen previously, though, that there's no bottom that you will not go if you feel that you're getting your lick back on behalf of your daughter. But I would argue that even your daughter would not be cool with this type of commentary, right? But again, whoever coached you, it's clear as day that there were some things that were left out, right? Because you told on yourself again and exposed yourself that there were some more things that you needed to say, that there were some more drags that you needed to get in. But then you made a mistake and said you weren't sure whether or not you could quote unquote say it yet. But then you tried to do the cover up. And what do I always say over here? The cover up is worse than the crime. You tried to cover it up and say that it was your girlfriends who were Team Tisha, and when you have your grand reopening, that you're going to see all the love Tisha gets. We've never questioned if Tisha has fans, you guys. It's clear as day. The entire cast has fans. There are people who are even fans of Tiffany, you guys. There are people who are fans of Sadaric, you guys. Like there's people who are fans of all the cast. The problem is you guys are jealous of certain people that have more fans than you. And that is why you get on these platforms with an attitude and completely throw unnecessary shots at other people who didn't come for you, who didn't send for you, who weren't talking about you or to you. But you wanted to insert yourself so that you can be talked about, so you can be in the algorithm, right? Because you miss being on the show. You miss the attention of being on the show. You miss the pennies that you were getting as a check on the show, right? So again, that's really what this is. You can see how quickly somebody can come onto the show and shut it down, and you have a problem with it. And holding your daughter accountable and letting her know what time it is, because again, if Tisha can defend herself fine, why are you windmilling this hard for her? If Tisha can fight her own battles, why are you still fighting it for her behind the scenes? Make it make sense. But again, the constant shouting out of Carlos King, even though you low-key dragged him, and shouting out Dr. Heavenly and all these things, and again, not condemning Funky Dineva, which we'll get to in a moment, because in relation to the inappropriate Unalive comments you were making, the sure shot comments you were making, you also had another another thing that she let slip out, and that was comparing Shenita's Unalive attempt and survival to the late Keke, to your late niece Keke, you guys. And we gotta talk about it. Again, rest in peace to Keke and her family and her loved ones who truly actually cared about her. But correlating Shenita to Keke is indicating what, right? Is kind of, if we're putting the pieces together, what are you trying to say, Phonics Unhooked? Because remember, you purposefully got on the internet and called out the family for alleging that there was any unaliving behavior and alleging that this was going to mess up the insurance money. But if it wasn't true, why would there be any insurance money to be messed up? Allegedly, right? But saying that there was, and you did it a couple of times, right? Because the one time you did it and saying that there was no concern for Keke and her mental health on the show and all these other things with her issues. Well, here's the thing. We didn't know her issues, but it was your family, Phonics Unhooked, that got on camera and kept calling your late niece Keke a drug addict, right? But we didn't know anything about the unalive component. We understood, the different levels of depression and other things. And we saw Funky Dineva flat out said as if he knew for a fact that Keke allegedly unalived herself. And you had zero smoke for Funky Dineva, which now seems mighty convenient to put that nugget out there as if it's low-key confirmation that what Funky Dineva said in that live was true. Even though he flat out also kept saying he didn't give a bleep about Keke and couldn't stand her in the midst of everything else. But everybody was like, oh, that's so funny. Oh, Funky Dineva's so entertaining and blah, 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 blah. And it was a disrespectful thing to say. It was out of order, and he knew it was out of order. And said that he knows it comes off cold and crass and that he didn't care. But instead of condemning that, Phonics Unhooked, you get on there and you want to come for other people that it's irrelevant, that has nothing to do with the situation at all. And then you want to insult Keke's mom, you want to insult Keke's other relatives. And you want to make it as though we're supposed to all have amnesia. We're all supposed to forget the comments that you, Marceau, and Tisha have made in particular about Keke. And your own daughter herself saying a few weeks before her untimely passing that she was DEAD to her. That the relationship was DEAD to her and that there was nothing that she could say or do to repair it. That came out of your daughter's mouth. But when it's an opportunity, like I said, to sell out the family, to try to use it as a dig to Shenita, you end up, coming for your own niece as a result as collateral. And that's not okay, Phonics Unhooked. Not okay at all. So again, maybe do a revision next time. Maybe do a mock live next time with whoever coached you to make sure you don't have any more slip-ups like that again. Because that wasn't it. That wasn't, that didn't give what you thought that gave, Phonics Unhooked. Because you always say something that goes too far and goes below the belt. And that's the real reason you're not on the show. Because you're a liability. You're a liability. You're too unhinged. You say things that are way too far that in real life would have you tied up in the court system if we're keeping it a buck. Because like I even said in the previous video I did, what you tried to allege about Mel and Shenita with zero receipts wasn't cool either. But you say all these things because you're so obsessed with your hatred and your negativity for somebody that you take things too far. You owe everybody an apology. Starting with Keke's family, starting with Mel, starting with Shenita, starting with everybody. Because you take things too far. You never make fun of anybody on having issues with mental health or unaliving themselves or certain things being a trigger. We see firsthand how dark this show is, how nasty and negative this show is. And it started well before the untimely passing of Keke. We've seen the arrest, we've seen the divorces and the divorce attempts, the cheating, the unhinged mistresses. We have seen how dark this show can get and how many people want to capitalize off of it for clicks and views. And how everybody, wants to pick and choose what tea they want to reveal and what tea they want to believe to push a certain narrative. But when it's the truth, now all of a sudden it's a problem. But all of these seasons where Mel was getting dragged, Mel was getting attacked, Mel was being called everything but her government name, y'all were on the mute challenge. Y'all didn't care. Y'all liked it because you didn't like Mel. But when Mel gives the same energy back, when Mel finally has somebody sticking up for her, it's an issue. It's World War III. Now everybody is going live. Now everybody wants to get in front of the camera and have something to say all of a sudden. But where were you the past 8 seasons? Where were you when you were on some knuck if you buck behavior yourself? And you threatening people yourself, Phonics Unhooked, and threatening the millimeters to come to you so that you could bury them in Alabama, in your backyard, and saying that you and your cousin had GUNs, right? What about all of that? Where was the concern for mental health then? Where was the concern for people's well-being then? And that's what I mean. You take things way too far. You go below the belt. You are uncouth, Phonics Unhooked. But you try to get on this platform and make everything else Mel's fault. Mel's responsible for everyone's demise, everyone's problems, everybody's issues, and you take zero accountability for the things that you do and say, and you literally were trying to incite something negative to happen to Shenita with her issues, with her own mental health, with her own triggers of Unalive and everything she's been through. And her being upset about you guys still calling her a man and transvestite and all these things. And still poking the bear, hoping something negative happens to her. And it should never be that serious over a reality TV show. Make it make sense. So there is that. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Please do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you're notified the moment I post new content on my channel. And with that being said, I'll talk to you guys again very soon.